Hello everybody, so my second attempt at making this video is the first time I forgot to turn my mic on. Couldn't make this stuff up sometimes with me. Alright, I want to look away from pops at the moment, from pop simulations, and quickly look at volumes. Maybe 2-3 lessons on this. And the reason why I want to quickly look at volumes is that in order to make correct collision objects inside of the pop simulation, you often need to use some kind of volume in order to do that, and these few lessons, they'll explain why that's necessary and how to create those volumes. Okay, so first of all, I want to look at the most basic kind of volume. It's almost old school now, which is using the IsoOffset node. Let's quickly look at that. So I'm going to open my geometry node. First of all, let's make a piece of geometry in here. Maybe let's have our trusty pig head, something different today. All right, looking good. And the easiest way to explain this, I think, is to use a scatter node. All right, we've used the scatter node a number of times before, and you can see here it just scatters a bunch of points on the surface of this pig head. Great. But you might notice that inside of this there are no points, just on the surface. And of course there's many situations when this is absolutely great, this is what you want. But what happens if I do want to put some inside? How can I do that? Well, the secret is to create this a volume and then add the scatter points to the volume rather than directly to the surface of this object. Okay, I wonder, can I turn off the shader? Yeah, alright, let's turn off that shader just because, yeah, I want to turn off the shader. Alright, so let's go back to my scatter. Now I want to look at a volume. Now my volume is where my ISO offset comes in. Alright, so let's pop this in, and right away, I can see that I now have my volume. Bit of a messy volume at this point. I can probably make it a bit better, and the easiest way to do this is to increase my uniform samples. So let's go up to, let's go up to 50. Yeah, it's looking quite good. Let me remove my grid. All right, cool. And what do I want to do now? Let's look at some of the other options that we've got. So I've got my offset, which will take my volume in or out. Okay, and eventually it goes to a box, of course, because that'll be the bounded box. Let me go back to where we were. There's another few options in here. The SDF volume might be an interesting one, and we can see that it creates this, but I'm not going to use this one with the ISO offset. There are better ways to do this. ISO surface, oh cool, that just makes a surface, and the tetra mesh, of course, which makes it all using triangles, I guess. All right, anyway, I never use these ones. I only ever use the fog volume for this, and I'm going to increase these samples a bit more. Let's go 100. Does it make any difference? It does. It makes it a bit smoother and looks yeah, that looks better. Okay, now the important part now is that if I want to scatter, let's add my scatter node, and I should now be able to see that I now have points also in the middle of this volume. Excellent. Let's reduce the number of these a little bit so we can maybe see better. Yeah, you can see there that we've got them in the middle of that. So here my scatter node is just on the surface. There's nothing inside of it. It looks like this point is here, but it's actually just at the mouth area. And then we've got these ones here, which put them all inside the volume. And that's pretty much all I want to show you for this ISO offset. It's a very easy way in order to create a volume. In the next lesson though, I want to look at VDBs, which are a much more, I guess, robust way now of making volumes, and a more modern way of making them. Okay, I'll let you go, and I will speak to you again in the next lesson. All right guys, have a great day.